Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Dr. D's. We are back with another video, and today we got a very, very special guest. I want everybody to give a big round of applause for our boy, Fastidious.
How we doing, guys? Thanks for having me, D's. Thanks for the applause. This
Thanks
is
for
an
joining.
incredible overlay. We're within right now, so I feel blessed to be here.
I appreciate that.
With Yuri above your shoulder.
Yeah, it's actually my guy Enemy, the guy that does my thumbnails. He actually made this for me, so huge shout out to him. And
Your thumbnails are spicy, so this is a pretty artistic guy.
Oh yeah, he's a jack of all trades. And all of you guys that are not subscribed, I'm sure you guys already are, but if you're not subscribed to this man right here, what are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Let's go ahead. We are doing a top 10 Gear Dungeon 2 heroes. Gear Dungeon 2 heroes. I got my top 10. Fasty's got his top 10. Let's see if they match. Me and Fasty actually do a lot of takeovers for Gear Dungeon 2, so I know we're both pretty familiar with it, right?
Yeah, I still do probably one a week, maybe one every 2 weeks. But back in the day, I probably did it almost every single day. I would say there was a period where I probably did it daily.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you've done quite a few. How come you slowed down on it?
I think less people need it beaten.
I see.
Yeah. When it first came out, people didn't have it, right? So it was, when it first came out, it was like 2, 3 a day. Can I say politely, could we change the spelling of my name? Maybe an I-O-U-S.
I-O-U-S. See, I knew
Weird
that.
word.
I was testing you to see if you would catch it.
I got that eye for detail, right? Living up to my
Oh,
name.
yeah. Yes, sir. Well, my bad. All right. So let's start with your number 10. Who do we got at number 10, Fasty?
I got an interesting one here at number 10. I've got Brokir.
Brokir. My man.
Yeah, basically, I don't think so many tanks need to be on this list, but he is my number one go-to. If they have him, I will use him without exception, unless for some reason they're really thin and I need to be using Lords as tanks. If you've got him and he can fit in, which in almost every comp, because usually you only need 9 heroes, he will fit in, and he's the guy. It's really hard, especially when you're doing a takeover, when they don't have the gear maybe for a tank to stay alive. He makes it so much easier. He really lowers the requirement for that middle lane.
I would 100% agree, and I also agree with we don't need too many defenders on here. There's a lot of defenders in this game that you could use for Gear Dungeon 2, which is why I do have a defender at number 10, but my defender is actually going to be our girl Draylin. This is only because I've been doing takeovers recently.
Yeah.
It was a toss-up between her or Brokir, but I really like her because I don't have to worry about laying down a Wood Elf. Because with Brokir, I like to have him out for 2 different rounds of exploding. I do the whole let the Volca clone explode strategy. That's my go-to every single time. There's different ways to do it. But with Brokir, you actually need the Wood Elf to try and keep him alive so he could go for that round 2. Whereas Draylin, you just lay her out and she does her thing, and she'll survive that first one.
Yeah, I love Draylin. Obviously, we're going to do honorable mentions at the end. She's on my honorable mentions. I just find the gearing requirement slightly higher. But that being said, if you can hit it, she's the easiest to use. She's like the most plug and play. And if you have her A1, she makes your DPS easier to use too. So she's amazing. I mean, she's really become one of the best units in the game without many exceptions.
Absolutely. Okay, let me go ahead and move my guy up. Then who do we have at number 9, Fasty?
Number 9, this is kind of spicy. I've got Ardia.
Okay. I see you, bro.
Yeah. So Ardia's crazy good at this. That being said, I think there are a couple arguments for her no longer being the best for the bottom row in the game. And I also think the bottom row is not the hardest problem to solve right now, especially with like forge gear, enhancements, stuff that you can start picking up along the way. If you get stuck, you farm at stage 6 or farm at stage 8 or 7 or wherever you're stuck. Probably an even number because of the way they work with Gear Dungeon 2, but she's still awesome. And if you can gear her out, she's probably the easiest to use, except for maybe one other guy we'll talk about later. But I just think she's not as vital, but she's still so strong. I had to put her on the list. And she can work on the left side too. So she has like that dual functionality, which is pretty spicy.
100%, and it took me forever to find her, Jesus. I actually have her a little higher on the list, so I 100% agree, but I did put her a little higher on the list because...
which is super fair.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. She's definitely my go-to, but we'll go over that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. So I definitely agree with her being on your top 10. And honestly, there's no wrong answers here, right?
Yeah, I mean, she had to make the list, but you'll see when we get a little further down. But
Okay.
yeah, I knew it would be a spicy take.
Love it. Love it, bro. All right, so at number 9, I have none other than Sexy Hexy. Let's go. And the reason why he's not higher on this list is because you have to have a Marksman Lord in order for him to work, which is kind of a bummer because it takes up a slot, right? So, I mean, there are ways around it, but for the most part, you're going to lay him towards the bottom. I mean, if I pulled it up right now, it'd be right next to the healer at the very bottom. And then basically you need that extra, the extra square range for him to reach the Volca clone, because you're going to use him for the Volca clone. He's honestly my second go-to. I have someone else who's actually my number 7. That is, I actually would prefer, but I like Hex at number 8 on this list.
Yeah, I've got Hex a little higher. I've never used him the way you're describing, though. That sounds really good and creative. I just use him on that top middle facing right. I've never used him with a Piercer Lord after stage 8 either. I either use him no Lord or I use him with an Infernal Lord. But that makes a lot of sense with what you said, but I've personally never done that.
So I know,
cool.
I know. Well, I know which way you're talking about. I normally, I just always do the blow up strategy. The one on the bottom that comes out, the Volca clone on the bottom that comes out, not the one on the top that makes the L. The one on the bottom that comes out, I just let her explode. So that's mainly my go-to.
Never done that before, but it's a very cool strat.
Okay. Well, so with your strategy, you don't have to have a Piercer or a Marksman Lord.
Yeah, so I use him. I don't know if we can pull the stage up, but I use him on the top, like kind of like in the same row as Hot Sit, but further all the way left. Yeah, I've never watched guides on this. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I watched when you posted your Carnelian guide. You suggested it to me, and I watched it after. I thought it was very cool. I'd heard about Carnelian strats, and I thought it was really spicy, and I wanted to learn how to do it. So I watched some of your guide. That was an awesome guide. If anyone for some reason hasn't seen it, they should. But aside from that, I've never seen anything else. I just have the way I do it. I've tweaked it as new units have come out, but I've always done it one way without many except for, I think I've done Carnelian a couple times.
All right, well, if it works, don't need to fix it, right?
So pretty cool strat though. I've never done that at all.
Okay, well, okay, so the good thing is our lists are probably going to look a little different. We like that. Yeah. We like that. So let's go to our boy. Who does actually Hex was number 9. I said number 8. Sorry about that. So who do you have at number 8?
I got Volca here. So the reason I have Volca above Ardia is because I knew I was coming on your channel and we're doing gear dungeons, which means we're probably talking through the lens of a takeover. And I actually have many times abandoned Ardia for Volca because when you're doing a takeover, it's because someone's stuck and they don't have optimal gear and you're just trying to make it through. And her passive is so clutch and her A1 is so clutch, right? The reduced redeployment time saves you a lot, and undeniably, especially if you're using, I'm trying to think of a good example, but some other kind of DPS, maybe an Estrid on the left, having that extra healing can go a really long way with certain comps. So I've leaned on her harder than I've leaned on some of the other heroes like Ardia and those that didn't make the list, so I felt like I had to put her on the list. I think she slots in really well, and she's a really good 4th Nightmare unit for a Nightmare comp. And she just handles the bottom. She's not that hard to gear. She has her exclusive artifact and her exclusive weapon now, so I really like using her.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. She was actually falling in my honorable mentions because the guys that I have for the bottom lane, honestly, for me personally, I just use Ardea if they have them, and I don't even have to put her in insane gear, but that's just me, and she just cleans it out. So with Volca, for me, maybe I'm not building her correctly, but whenever I put her out there,
well, it's actually less that. It's like it's if you can build Volca good enough. I'm never taking Ardia out for Volca because Volca's better than Ardia for DPS. She's not in any way, except for maybe staying alive at the very, very end of the fight. But she helps everyone else stay alive. So like, there's a lot of little moments. Her passive is giving everyone else a little extra healing. And especially on sweatier comps, if you're struggling with the magic DPS, she makes the cycling a lot easier. So I actually do opt for her if an account needs a little extra support.
And another good thing about her is everybody has her.
That's also, yeah, I just use her all the time because it's like, well, they're gonna have her for that 1 in 1,000 account where they sold her because she looked weird or something. I've heard that a few times. It's great.
So okay, that is awesome. I actually really debated on putting her on my top 10, but I opted out of it, so she is my honorable mention. But the next one I have is the other magic damage booty clapper. Xena is an absolute beast if you want to take out the magic clone. I would honestly, like I said with Hex, I have to use a Marksman Lord for my strategy anyway. Fasty's way, you don't need to use it, but for mine, you do, and it's my go-to every time. So if someone has Xena, they do have to have her ultimate fully skilled, but as long as the ultimate's fully skilled, Xena just cleans out that magic Volca clone. It's insane how good she is.
Yeah, I think you said every single point I would say about her. So the reason she's on my honorable mentions and not the list is because you need her booked out, and people don't like using skill ups. That's always difficult. But if you can afford to do it, yeah, she's kind of mindless. She's kind of cracked out. Love her in the middle lane. She's really good. I just find a lot of people have a fully skilled Hex with probably a base level exclusive, and then the gear requirement's stupidly low. So that's why I use Hex.
That is true. That is true. Okay, so we got that taken care of, and let's go over to the list. We're getting through these pretty quick.
Yeah, it's going good.
So who do you have at number 7, my man?
Short and sweet. I got Valeria. She's my favorite choice for the left side. I think she's mindless. I think she's easy. She's easy to build. You can build her in Soulbound Arcana, Infernal Roar, Ageless Wrath, Cataclysm, or Hell's Lament. If you have really good gear or a nice max out artifact, you can build her in freaking Wisdom. Nothing matters. As long as you don't need her fully skilled out, just dust her up. She just freaking works, man. There's nothing more to it. I love using Valeria. I will never, ever not use Valeria if someone has Valeria. She's one of my 100% guarantee I'm using her.
She was always one of my favorite units for the longest time, and I know how you're using her now. You're doing the strategy where you put Hex on top for the magic, you use Valeria for the physical, and you get things done. So with me, I just don't ever use Valeria. I don't use her in any strategies because I just let the top blow up. So with that being said, I would love to put her in my top 10, but it's pretty cool that we both have different strategies that we're going off of. So you're going to get the best of both worlds.
I got to check out some of your strategies. I mean, I'm always stubborn, right? Like I don't watch stuff except for occasionally if I've beaten something a month later, I'll watch something. So I make up my strategies, and those are my strategies. That's what I do. I'll refine them, but yeah, maybe I'm a little too set in my ways. But if anyone's ever seen me do it, I'm definitely gonna have an updated Gear Dungeon guide for 1 and 2 coming out after these videos. It feels appropriate, but people will see. I've always done it like this, and it works.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll be looking forward to that one. A 2025 guide. Let's go. So next up, I put Lubu. Lubu is. I'm just talking about the bottom lane. Like Fasty said that the bottom lane. There's so many different units that can do it. But I really like Lubu, just because he is my alternative. This is basically what it goes for the bottom lane. It goes Ardea, Lubu, Volca would probably be my third option. Or if they have, there's another person, but I won't mention
my number 1 hasn't come up yet. I think that's who you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is another person that is on the drawing board, but we won't bring them up yet. So where is Lubu? Dude, I'm having a hard time finding these units. But Lubu's a beast.
Too many units now.
They keep adding more and more into the game, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. But Lubu, I mean, what more can I say? He's just a booty clapper, bunch of AoE damage, takes care of the bottom lane like a beast. Not much more to it.
I had him on honorable mentions just because I think he's worse than Ardea, as it seems like you agree. And I'm only including other people unless they're better than Ardea or they bring some extra functionality like Volca, at least for my strat. But yeah, Lubu melts people.
Absolutely. And at number 6, who do we have?
Yeah, so this is probably my spiciest one. It's the only epic I've got, but I've got Estrid here.
Estrid, let's go.
I just find Estrid the most versatile. You can pin them in the top left corner, and then you can keep Estrid down the whole time, which is such a crazy strat. Started doing a couple months ago. at the suggestion of R-Type. If people want to check out R-Type, that was really cool. I've
Mhm.
always used her separately, just like doing the Valeria role if you need it, or certainly doing the bottom lane, which she does pretty mindlessly. She's really easy to have. She's really easy to have A5. She's really easy to fully skill out. So she's just so easy to lean on. And while, yeah, maybe with certain things, Lubu would be better, Estrid is just more accessible, easier, and she always works. The gearing requirement is really low. She has that defense break, which just makes everything smooth. And yeah, she has that double functionality of like the top left strat or the bottom strat, or just actually a third thing of doing the kind of the Valeria role. So love Estrid. I use her constantly.
And we would both agree on that. She's a little higher on my list because almost every single every single takeover I do, I use Estrid. So and everyone has her. For the most part, everyone has her.
Yeah, a cool thing with Estrid is doing that stack strat. If you do it on the left, then you don't have to pick up as many units in and out. So it lowers like the HP requirement, which is something a lot of people struggle with gear-wise. So she's really, really good to lean on. It's very strange seeing Yuri jacking her tail off above you, but who do you have at number 6?
Well, that was all enemy right there, all right? But again, at number 6, I got Ardea. So Ardea, I mean, we don't really have to dive too deep into this. We kind of already went over it, but Ardea is about that life, an absolute unit for the bottom side. She just clears everything out. And then, since we already went over that, let's go over your number 5. Who we got, Fasty? Who we got?
At number 5, this one's gonna be pretty fast too. It's just Hex.
Hex.
I think it's everything we already talked about. Everything you said about your strat, I would also have docked Hex. If you needed a Piercer Lord, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
But the way I use him, you don't need any Lord. And he's my go-to. And I really like him, again, looking at it through a takeover lens, but even just approaching your own account, he's someone you can confidently fully invest in, So he's someone you're going to have good. You're going to have him skilled out. He's got that cheeky crowd control, which can really help with the clones, actually, especially with some of the strats I do with the delayed tank. And he's someone who, if you have his exclusive, you probably have a couple promotions in it because it's worth your mythic essence. So he's just kind of a home run guy, easy to lean on. I really like him.
Absolutely. And one thing that I will say about Hex for my strategy, see, with your strategy, you don't have to worry about this, but with my strategy, I'll normally have Estrid taking care of that. Which lane would you say that is? The left upper lane?
Like top left corner turn.
Yeah, left corner turn. I have Estrid taking care of that lane with someone that's also pretty high on my list, so I won't mention her name in front of her. And if Hex does not have the Sutra, it really, really gets a little challenging because sometimes Estrid will out DPS him and she just keeps healing and Hex can't take him down. So
I will say with my strat, the Sutra helps, but you don't need it at all. If you have like a 6 out of 10 Soulbound Arcana set, you're good to go. Or if you have a very good Ageless Rat set, you're good to go too. So it's pretty easy.
Correct. So that's also the reason why you probably see Hex a lot lower on my list and a lot higher on Fasty's list, because you don't need as much for Fasty's strategy, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So next up, I have someone that you actually mentioned from one of my strategies before. It's a girl that, if you have this chick, she will just keep the squad alive, no problem. We got my girl Carnelian. I'm doing the blow up strategy, so Carnelian is about that life. She is an absolute beast.
I think of her as the D's girl, and I've got her higher than you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll see with my top 3, I'm picking units that are the comps I use them in are impossible without them. So that's why she had to make the top 3 for me. Because the strat with her, to me, is the Carnelian strat. It cannot work without her, and that's just too important. But I mean, top 5's top 5. I mean, she's so good.
Absolutely. And the only reason, so I do the blow up strategy, and Carnelian just makes it to where you don't have to do anything. But there is also another way to do it. That's the reason why I was like, you know what? I won't put her too high, because you can use Lily, but if you use Lily, you have to do it a certain way or everyone's going to blow up, because Carnelian just keeps laying the soul essence above the units, and they just get an extra life, right? Each time they die, boom, it goes away. And then if you build Carnelian right, she'll put a soul essence on them like immediately. And it's with Carnelian, it just makes it so much easier.
You can do stage 10 with Lily with that strat.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
Wow. Crazy. I have to see that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. It's actually it's not bad, but you do have to build Elowen and Lily with a decent amount of HP. It has to be like above like 35,000.
Yeah. I used to do some Lily strats for climbing, but not for 9 and 10. But now, like, it just, everyone has Silas. Like, every account I'm on has Silas. So you can't, the way I like to do it, Silas is kind of annoying for 9 and 10, but I use a Piercer strat up through 8. It's the most mindless thing ever, if anyone's ever seen it.
Correct. I'll actually, I'll be looking out for your Gear Dungeon 2 stage 10 strategy, because I want to see how you do it.
I'll probably make a stage 8 and a stage 10, because the way I do is 1 through 8's different, because everyone has to listen. It's just so easy.
Absolutely. I'll be on the lookout for that, as you guys should be as well. So let's go ahead and let's go on to actually Fasty's number 4.
Yeah, maybe we have the same number 4, because I know we're both going to have this guy and we haven't set him yet. But for me, my number 4 is Neza.
Yep.
Was that your 4?
Nope. I have him higher.
Even higher.
Yep.
So for me, Neza couldn't make the top 3 because he's not needed for anything. He's not like all my top 3 for the strats you use them in. They are hard required. I think our top 4 are going to be the same, by the way, just looking at our lists. But Neza is just by a mile the best for the bottom and supremely good for the left. So he is... he's such a broken unit, man. I'm lucky to have A3 Neza, but I've used A0, A1, everything on other people's accounts. Every takeover I do now, because a lot of people have been summoning, I'd say 75% of them have Neza, and if they have him, I will use him. He's that execution. He's such a cheat code. The only thing I'll say about Neza is sometimes you have to reset the auto when you're done, because he executes. There's a little RNG when he gets people low enough, and when he triggers the execute, and he can kill the Banshee too fast. So that's the only knock against him, but he's completely correct.
Absolutely. And the reason why I have him higher on the list, let's just go ahead and brush up on this, because I actually have him at, I think, number 2, is because you could use him. He's just made takeovers for me personally just so much easier, because you could literally, like you said, you can use him for the bottom. You can use him in Estrid spot where I put Estrid. And
he's better than her there.
Correct. And you just lay him down. And it just made takeover so much easier because, like you said as well, a lot of people have him. Like, a lot of people went all out on this banner. They made sure to get a copy. I just really love the fact that takeovers got a lot easier for Gear Dungeon 2 now that everyone has a Neza, because then I just put Neja, or however the heck you pronounce his name.
I don't know.
But everyone has Estrid. Everyone has Neja. And you could just place them both down, and I don't have to worry about either side. So that's the reason why I personally like him, because he just made Gear Dungeon 2 so much easier for me.
He's the number 1 progression unit in the game, without exception.
Absolutely.
Cracks everything. All 3 Gear 8s and Gear Dungeon 2. He's so broken.
He's a unit. He's a unit. We love ourselves a little Neja. But at number 4, I have someone that is necessary for my strategy, and I had to throw her in here. You have to use Isolde. People ask me all the time, why are you using Isolde? Like, why not use King Hars? It's because King Hars won't work. He just doesn't do it, guys. He doesn't do it. And let me tell you the reason why. It's because when Isolde pops her ultimate, she increases block +1, not only for herself, but also for the units around her, which means that her block goes up by 1, and also Estrid's block goes up by 1. So both of their block goes up by 1, and that's the only way you can do this strategy. Unless you are using Neza, then maybe he could stun them. But I don't know. I've never tried it without Isolde. Isolde just makes everything so much easier. And also she comes with the Lord skill. So, she helps Estrid's damage out. So for my strategy, Isolde's always, like, she's a must-have for my strategy whenever I do my strategy.
Yeah, I've used Isolde exactly the way you said, but if you have good enough gear, Estrid can have any tank in front of her as long as she just can kill them so fast. But it makes perfect sense. Shocking to me that one of my top 2 is not on your list, that means, which I can't even wrap my head around.
Oh, really?
But, we'll get there. Yeah.
So okay, so I will touch up on this. For stage 10, I think
my number 1 might not be on your list.
Your number 1?
I think so.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
There's no way you don't have my number 2, so.
Okay, well, we'll see. So I got, the one thing that I will say about Isolde, I've never tried it with another tank, so I don't know this, but there are plenty of times where I'm doing a takeover And even when you pop Isolde's ultimate, Estrid's not killing them enough because the gear's not good enough. You have to have like god tier gear for Isolde not to work in there, but also Isolde also gives a buff with that Lord skill. So I think that she's a must have. But for my strategy, definitely the go-to. You have to have Isolde in order for it to work. But let's go ahead and let's go to our boy Fasty. So who do you have at number 3?
Super easy. This is where I put Carnelian. She's my 3rd.
Carnelian. There it is. So we already touched up on that. So we already know what that's all about. But did you want to add anything?
Yeah, just if you don't know how to build her, like don't hurt your head. Put HP main stat on the bangle, then attack speed on the amulet, then rage regen on the ring, and hunt those stats everywhere else. So wherever they're not the main stat, just hunt them and you're done. Like it's just done. She's done. She's broken set. Nothing matters. If you can get her in big, awesome. But nothing matters. She's so good. It's so easy.
Yep. Pretty easy. So we already touched up on my 3 and 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring them out. At number 3, I have Estrid. Estrid is about that life. Estrid is essential for my strategy. And she's just an absolute beast. I've really like the fact that everyone has Estrid. It makes life a lot easier on a takeover. And then also, let's go to my number 2. We have Nezha. Nezha is another one that everyone has, and it just makes everything easier. For my strategy, it's not very hard. You just need Lily, which everyone has. You need Elowen, who I did not put on my list. I just realized that, but so Elowen is actually essential for my strategy too. She should be on my list. I completely forgot about her. I know it's okay. So you're right. I did forget about somebody, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. You know, we'll throw her in my honorable mentions. That should have been higher, but she's not.
Put her at 1B or something.
Yeah, 1B. There you go. But so with my strategy, it's not very hard. You don't need that many units. You just need a magic damage booty clapper, which is going to be Xena or Hex. They take out the magic clone. You also need a tank, which is going to be well, you guys all see my strategy. You guys know how it goes, but basically it all revolves around these guys. That's you have these guys. We're going to get it done. We are going to get it done. Yeah. So at number 2, who do you have?
Number 2, I got Hatsu.
Hatsu. Oh, wow. Okay, I do not have Hatsu on my list, but I never use her. That's why.
Yeah, I think this just comes down to strategy. So I can do it without her. That's when I do stuff like your Carnelian thing, or I get really cheeky with some Estrid stuff. Or now Nezha is crazy. Like the Nezha stuff you can do on the left is crazy. Like maybe I should have rated him at 3. I don't know. Actually, you can change that on my list.
Change it. Okay. I
think I'll put him at 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I just hot sit for. I think it's the cleanest strategy. It's the easiest for me. I've done it a million times, and with the gear that's out there now, she's so easy to build. Like I do her broken set all the time. Like it's so easy. Just attack bonus everything, make her speedy, get some HP, hunt for the other crit stuff, and it will work. Obviously, she used to be a little rare. She's a lot more common now. There are ways to do it, like you don't use her in your strat, and you know I have when people don't have her, I make it work. But if you got her, she's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best strat. In my opinion, it's the cleanest.
It's definitely. I did use that strategy before. You know, I've done my strategy so much because. My strategy. Yeah, I forget how to do your strategy.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny, Fasty? The other day, someone didn't have I'd say 99% of people have units where I could do my strategy. That's why I love the strategy that I use because you can use it on almost any account. But I actually ran into an account that didn't have certain units, and I was like, whoa. This is new to me, and then I was trying to figure out the way to do it with Hatsu, and I completely forgot how to do it at stage 10, and then I couldn't get it done.
I'll definitely make that new guide soon for you then.
I need it, Fasty. I need it.
Yeah. I'm not joking. I've probably done it 500 different accounts, honestly.
Oh yeah. Well,
like I've been out for like a year and a half, and there were those first few weeks I was doing 3 a day probably, and yeah, it's probably done it 500 times.
You got it like the back of your head. So okay.
Yeah.
Let's see who do you have at number 1? I think I could guess.
I got yeah, you can guess. You know.
Edith?
No, I got Elowen, of course. It's Elowen.
Oh, that's right. So I actually had Edith.
Wow. I don't there's so many. I find so many alternatives to Edith nowadays. She's on my honorable mentions, but Elowen is the only thing that can hang me up, and that will make me tell someone I don't know. Aside from gear, obviously, is I don't know if I can get 10. Maybe we'll get 8. I always tell people beforehand so they have realistic expectations. I do like a free review. But not having Elowen, you can have such good gear and fail without Elowen if you don't have every other unit to make it work without her. That Rage Regen is everything. I will say when we go through honorable mentions, there's another unit coming that can do this now. But that global Rage Regen, making your hot sit work, making your bottom unit work, making everything work, it is so important. Maybe less important if you don't use hot sit, but I use her so much that she's the gas that makes the whole engine go.
Absolutely. And I actually, like I said, I forgot Elowen on my list. She would have definitely been in my top 3. But with my strategy, she's not super necessary. The Rage Regen is nice, but it's I've done it with Hollow, but you do need some things to go right because you do need a Wood Elf. So without the Wood Elf, it's more the Wood Elf for me than the Rage Regen because I can use Hollow and get the Rage back, no problem. But the Wood Elf to keep my unit or the Defender alive.
I should have mentioned that. But yeah, because I always use I until recently I'd never used Draylen. She didn't exist, so the Wood Elf's the other key thing for sure.
Correct. So Elowen would definitely been higher on my list. And I'm curious. So I did have Edith as my number 1. That's because she makes it so easy, a lot easier. But
she's the best for sure.
She is the best, and the reason why I have her on this list or at number 1 is because whenever I do a takeover, nobody, and I mean almost maybe 98% of accounts, maybe 95% of accounts do not have a what is that guy, the common guy that pushes back?
Borit?
Yeah, Borit. They don't have him upgraded.
I just tell people to go save a Borit. He's so good. I use Borit all the time. So that's why I couldn't put her in the top 10 because you get him for free on day 1.
That is true, but the reason why I put her on number 1 is because nobody has him and they don't have him upgraded, and half the time they're like, oh, I didn't even know he was good. What is I didn't know that he could push back. So I'm going more off of what makes a takeover easier for me when I'm doing a takeover. So that was my whole thought process behind this. So that's the reason why whenever someone has an Edith, it just makes life easier. Callista, if you have her A1, she works. There's also Talon can work, but RNG could really mess you up. Who's another one? I'm missing one.
Lara works really well. Magda's really annoying. Magda's annoying, but same thing like I would say Callista's really good at A1, especially if you've got her exclusive stuff too. But A0 Callista's on par with Magda. It is a huge headache.
Yeah.
But I'll say if you can do it once, then you can go do a 5-star Borit. And I all the time will replace Borit with Edith for the auto because he's 100% reliable on the auto. Edith is finicky. You got to reset it, and she's annoying. And
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
If more people had Borit, she definitely wouldn't be number 1 on my list. But again, I was just in the mindset of what makes
You're too nice.
easy.
That's your problem. If someone doesn't have Borit and they don't have Edith, I mean, if they have Edith, obviously I'll just use her. But if they don't have Edith, I'm like, all right, next time you pull, save Borit or go run some XP raid and go get a Borit. It's so easy. So
maybe I should be more like that.
Yeah, I'm like, come back to me in a day. You need XP on your account anyway, and you'll get a Borit will drop for sure. He always does.
100%. And that basically ends it for this video. Fasty, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, we got to go do the Gear Dungeon 1 video, right?
Yes, sir. We'll have a Gear Dungeon 1 on Fasty's channel. All right, take it easy, guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.